Welcome back to Focus on You. Today we've got Michael Page here to talk to us. Michael, what's up?
Not too much. How are you doing?
Nothing much.
Yeah.
You know, just another day.
Yeah.
So what are you here to talk about?
The Kinni River.
Kinni River.
The Kinni River that runs through town here, and the waterfall that used to be there, present there.
Okay. What's wrong with it? It seems to be flowing pretty well, right?
Yeah. Well, outside of town, above town, and below town, it flows just fine. But right through the middle of town, the Kinni is obstructed by two dams that are part of the River Falls Municipal Utilities hydroelectric facility that impound a full mile of the Kinni River.
Okay.
They turn what otherwise was a free-flowing river into two impoundments, two lakes that are about 15 acres apiece. Lake George is the upper lake, Lake Louise is the lower pond down below Glen Park there. And neither lake supports any recreational opportunity whatsoever.
Right.
They're both silted in with debris and mud to the point where they're only like 1 to 3 feet deep, and they're just cesspool little lakes that don't do anything
Right.
for our community. And underneath the upper dam, there is a waterfall just sitting there waiting for us to restore, and it's right there in the middle of our town, and all we have to do is remove the dam, and that waterfall would be there again.
When did we put in the dams?
The first dam in the location of the upper dam was built in 1866, completed in 1868, I believe, and that site has had a dam in that location since then.
Right.
It's taken on many different forms. There actually is, the first dam was made out of wooden timbers and boulders, and that structure still sits below the waters of Lake George, just a little bit upstream from the upper dam. It's just buried by the water. So when they built the new dam, they built it just downstream from the old dam and just flooded the old dam.
So you seem to know a lot about the dams and what's going on.
Yeah.
Can you give me some kind of background as to who the Michael Page is that we all
I'm
know
the spokesperson for an organization called Friends of the Kinni here in town. We are a local advocacy group and the stewards for the Kinni River here.
Okay.
We just formed recently in response to the relicensing process with the two dams in town, because it is allowed for a time for public input to be considered as a part of that process.
Okay.
And myself, I'm just a concerned resident. You know, I grew up in town here. I've been here for 35 years now, so
Awesome.
So just love River Falls. I love the Kinni River, and I want to see it restored through that stretch.
So what are the steps now for?
Well, the
getting rid of the
relicensing,
dams?
yeah, the relicensing process has allowed for us to have this public input process. The process started about a year ago, and it takes about 5 years. So there's still 4 more years of activity that could go along with the relicensing process. However, if the city decided to not pursue relicensing and instead decided to decommission the dams and remove the facilities and restore the Kinni River, that decision could be made at any time. The process would probably still take 3 to 5 years before full implementation took place and the dams were actually completely gone and the river was restored. But it's a long process.
Yeah. So what are some of the, if we were to get rid of the dam, what kind of changes would we be seeing then?
Well, the two lakes would be gone.
Okay.
But immediately the water flowing through town would again be a running river. The stretch that's impounded by the two lakes is about a mile length of river, and it falls through that stretch about 70 feet, which for gradient of a stream, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Most rivers fall like 6 to 8 feet per mile, and through this single mile, the river drops 70 feet. 35 feet of that is that waterfall that's at the upper dam, but the other 35 feet of drop is just in that other stretch of river there. So it'll be a running river right through town again,
Right.
instead of the flat water that you see. Like if you go between Heritage Park and Veterans Park downtown on that walking bridge there, that water there, it wouldn't be quite as wide anymore, because that is essentially the lake right there. It's at the level of the top of the dam. The river would probably only be a third to a half that width, but it would actually course through as, a run of rapids and a little pool, a run of rapids and a little pool. So it would be a, living, flowing river again, instead of the flat, calm water that you see right now. And it would create, in the area of the upper lake, it would create 10 to 13 acres of dry land that could be made into park space, and similarly where the lower lake is.
So what can we do as a community now to help?
Sure. Well, the biggest thing is just talking about it, learning about the dams and what's going on right now with the relicensing process, just finding out exactly what there is to know about it in order to form your own opinion about what should be done, and then just talking to people about it and spreading the word about the opportunity that we have. By all means, contacting city officials is probably the strongest way if someone feels passionately about this and wants to get involved. Contacting the Friends of the Kinni is a great way as well. We have a website, friendofthekinni.org, and we have a Facebook page. Real easy to find, and reach out to us if you want to get involved. And then also contact city council members. Let them know what you think.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael Page, for coming.
No problem.
Woo! See, they got it. They got it.
Got it.
All right. That was really informational, actually. We'll be right back with more Focus on You, but right now, packages.